Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a little quick tour through the garden. This is one of those cold hardy kiwis, and you can see the little flowers beginning to develop, and once those pop open, then you get a little baby kiwi to develop along the stem. There we go. But this thing is really taking off this year. This is year 3 for it, so I'm thinking that we will definitely see some type of a harvest off of it. All right, we got our drip irrigation system all mounted up, and it is doing its thing. All right, we got some little miniature green grapes here. This is the beginning of year 2, no 3 for them. But they're doing their thing and climbing, and they're still waking up. You see a little bare spot in here. All right, these two grapevines are Concord, and you can see the little clusters of grapes growing. Looks like it'll be a pretty good little harvest for them this year. And the vine is still, it's not fully awake yet, but it is it's taking off, man. It's getting ready to do its thing. You can see a bloom here, how it's waking up. And like I said, this is 2 vines. This is an Asian pear. It did not pop any blooms this year, which I really didn't expect it to. But it looks like we got something chewing on the leaves here, so we'll have to use some of that fruit tree spray on them here in a bit. Little olive tree. You can see strawberries everywhere. Matter of fact, here's one growing right there. Apricot tree will not produce this year. A little orange type tree. Alright, now we got peaches. Pretty good little haul. We'll have to watch over the leaves on this one too. It's been so wet and humid that it doesn't take very much for, you know, funguses and stuff to start growing on it. Here's another peach, and here you got a double peach event. Look at that. So we'll have to take care of this stuff, and nice size one. Another double peacher. Yeah, that happens sometimes, and I've actually let them grow. And all right, this is a Toka plum. It will not produce this year, but it is putting on a growth spurt. All right, this is a Chicago fig, and I know there are figs on it because I saw them the other day. There's a baby one. Let's see here. All right. There's a few of them in there. All right. Cherry tree. And you can see the baby cherries. They're past, some of them are past the bloom stage and actually have baby cherries, and that's what the blooms look like. Like I said, tons of strawberries making up. Apple tree. It did not bloom this year. Didn't really expect it to. It's one of the ones that's you got 2 different types of apples growing on, a red one and a green one. Let's see, we got a little bit of a leaf curl going on there, so we'll have to break out, treat that with the fruit tree spray. Now check this thing out. This is a Methley plum, and it is loaded. I mean, loaded. It produced last year and did quite well. obviously, as the season progresses, the next few weeks, some of this will fall, not all of it, but between the natural fall of some of the fruit from the trees and storms and everything. Well, look at this cluster in here. Okay. Now, this is a nectarine tree, and you can see the characteristic reddish blush on it. It produced last year, did pretty good, and it's loaded up pretty good, so we'll have to keep an eye out on it for any leaf damage and stuff like that. These are gooseberries. They produced for the last 2 years, and looks like I got plenty of blooms, even some of the little baby fruit on there. And we got a bumblebee in there doing its thing, which is a good thing. All right, pink lemonade blueberry bush, and yes, it has some babies on there. And you see our solar irrigator here. It should activate here in the next few minutes. I've got it on a timing sequence. Really looking good. This is the back side of the kiwi that we were started on. Big old bumblebee, man. I'm glad to see him. There for a few years, man. You hardly ever saw them. All right. These are tomato plants, and they're sandwiched right here in between this drip irrigation system. And yeah, there are some blooms on there, and they are really putting on a growth spurt. And you see some bell peppers over there. I didn't plant too many of those this year. And right here down the center, I planted some Market More 76 cucumbers. So they're going to get a full blast of sunlight. Planted 12 tomato plants this year. Everything from the smaller Earl Girl type to some pink brandywine, cherry tomatoes, and grape tomatoes. Alright, this is the inside or backside of the Concord grapes. And there's your pepper plants. And these are the cucumbers. I don't see anything coming up yet, but I only put them in the ground about 4 days ago. But at the temperatures that we've had, 82, 81, 88, it won't take long. Alright. This is another plum tree, and I think the other day I found at least 1 or 2 little plums. There you go. There's a baby. And oh, there you go. And here's the backside of the main drip irrigator. And it is produced by Rain Point. Outstanding equipment, man. It's really done a number. And right in here, I've got some where all these little sticks are along the drip irrigation area is some summer squash, yellow squash, crooked neck, and looks like it is kind of dry, so we might have to do some work on it, I think. Looks like something ejected the seeds out there. But considering how we have possums and squirrels and rabbits and everything else, doesn't surprise me none. It looks like a really good crop of grapes making up this year. Yeah, a lot of strawberries. Sure enough. course, I keep the bird bath and everything over here in the far corner. I try to keep them fed and watered and everything, so they leave my stuff alone. And I just changed this water out maybe 2 hours ago. Look at it. I guess when it gets in the 80s like this, you know, and there's their little eating platform. And there's the trail cam that catches Bird Bath Wednesday. Well, this is the view of what I call the food forest from the backside. It is going to get to around 81 or 82 degrees today, and I hear the next 3 or 4 after that it'll drop back into the 70s, upper 60s. But all danger of frost is done now here in Virginia. We're just I don't know, maybe a few days, week or two at the most, away from it's going to get hot, real hot. I'm thinking next year this apricot tree will definitely produce. So it's starting to get some size on it. And this is the backside of that first peach tree. It's a good bit on there. And every day, probably a couple times each day, I come out and check the leaves and stuff like that. But so far, the only tree that looks like it's got a little bit of a chewage on it is that pear tree over there. And this is the Chicago fig. Yeah, I think I see at least one fig on there, but it is a little early yet. Yeah, I got a feeling, like I said, it's gonna get hot right soon. All right, everybody. We'll take a look at the garden again here in another few days and see how it's faring out. And until then, everybody take care.